Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Mike and Beans. I'm recording this intro right now because it is part two. Our last part was the McGregor one, and someone got this video up late. I wonder whose fault that is, but that person needs to be held accountable. Anyway, in this one, we talked about some of the last-minute NBA draft decisions. You know, some guys deciding not to return, some guys deciding to return. Talk about those. There was one point where I did fail to mention Purdue. I think you could find out where that point is. Then we hit on some of the dumb decisions the MLB made in regards to the All-Star Game before wrapping everything on up. So I hope you enjoy. Let's get into it.
Well, Mike's about to give everyone some college basketball talk, and that's his favorite thing to do. Now, yesterday was the final day for NCAA basketball athletes to decide on whether to return to their respective teams or head to the NBA draft. So, and tons of really good players, decided to go back and play another year of college basketball. So, Mike, biggest names that are coming back.
I mean, the winner of the entire NBA draft process was college basketball. I mean, so many great kids returned to school. Max Asmus, who led the nation in scoring, returned to school. His old teammate Kevin O'Banner, who is now entering the transfer portal, returned. Kofi Cockburn and Hunter Dickinson returned. Probably the two best bigs in college basketball for next season.
Hunter Dickinson. Oh, okay. So, all right. Yeah. I did not know Hunter Dickinson was coming back. But
he's back at Michigan.
Hunter Dickinson is a local guy. We're from Maryland. He went to DeMatha, and he played really well as a freshman for Michigan. So that's a big name.
He's back. That's big. Jaden Shackelford of Alabama is transferring, but he is back. Isaiah Wong at Miami, who averaged 17.1 points per game, is a beast. Ochai Agbaji was supposed to go pro. He flipped and decided to return to a loaded Kansas team, also with an ex-Arizona State star who also returned, in Remy Martin, who was going to Kansas. Kendrick Davis of SMU, who's probably going to lead CBB in assists next year. Marcus Bagley of Arizona State, Marvin Bagley's brother, who had his dad wore a Fuck Tucson shirt to an Arizona State game because Arizona State, that's where Arizona is. That's a rivalry shirt. That was fun. He's returning to Arizona State. Terrence Shannon of Texas Tech returns, making them a top 35 to 40 team. Julian Champagny returns to the Johnny St. John's, making them a top 35 to 40 team for the first time in forever. So St. John's is going to be relevant again. That's fun. That's great.
First time since Chris Mullin?
Pretty much. You had that one season they made the tournament with Shamori Pons, but this St. John's team is going to be fun. Posh Alexander's a beast. You got Tyson Etienne, co-AAC Player of the Year, is returning. Isaiah Mobley of USC. Johnny Juzang of UCLA is returning, making UCLA probably a top 5 team. Scottie Pippen Jr. of Vanderbilt. Marcus Carr entered the portal and returned to school. Geo Baker and Ron Harper bringing back your family, your religion, Rutgers basketball, making them a tourney team, and Dawson Garcia returning to college basketball to transfer to UNC to make them a good school. I mean, college hoops is loaded with talent next year, and I just can't wait.
Well, Cockburn, Dickinson, and I'd say Juzang are probably the biggest names on there.
Absolutely.
Juzang led an unbelievable run for UCLA to the Final Four. And UCLA right now is, according to Andy Katz, UCLA right now is the too early number 1 pick. So Juzang returning, big news for UCLA. They'll most likely be relevant for most of the season. But Cockburn transferring is kind of interesting to me. I thought him and Brad Underwood kind of got along really well, but probably because Illinois is losing their other best player.
Their entire team.
And what was it? Osima?
Ayo Dosunmu.
What's Dosunmu? Yes, Dosunmu is leaving. So Cockburn probably did not want to be the only guy because he probably understands that he needs help. But, Illinois will probably still be, might be top 25 without Cockburn, right? Or no?
Yeah, they have still decent amount of talent. Andre Curbelo, DeMonte Williams. They got enough guys to be a decent team, but they lose just about everybody else. They bring in a good class, so it's going to be a completely different Illinois team, but they'll still be pretty good.
Where do you think Cockburn goes?
It's the rumor has been Kentucky. I don't see the fit at Kentucky though, because they got Oscar Tshiebwe. He could, like they said, there is a slight chance he returns. So I mean that's an option. Kentucky's been the rumor. I'm not really sure what he's looking for. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know who's like really after him. Arizona's a spot to look at too, just because It's just what they do. But if I had to say where I think he goes, I would say Kentucky, just because that's the rumor. But I'm not sold on his fit there.
All right. Well, and do you think Michigan is favored to win the Big Ten now that Dickinson's returning?
Probably. Yeah. They got a really good team. I mean, they have so much talent coming in. Frankie Collins is a very good guard. Devontae Jones is another very good guard who they got transferring in from Coastal Carolina. They have them. You have a ton of just loaded. They're loaded on the wing. Great recruiting class. I'd probably pick them as my favorite. I agree with you.
One thing that Juwan Howard has done well is recruit. He's been, which is kind of surprising because, John Beilein, the former coach of Michigan, who led Michigan to very successful, years, got to a couple Final Fours in the national championship. He had some good teams, and for Juwan Howard to come in like this and recruit really, really well, it's pretty impressive. So good for Michigan. Michigan did fall to the UCLA in the Elite Eight last year because Juzang went off against Michigan. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how this season pans out. But one thing that is worth to mention is that the G League became more popular, last year because college athletes still weren't being paid. But now this year, it was just announced about a week ago that there will be an NIL, policy that, will allow athletes to make money from endorsements and sponsorships while retaining eligibility. So this is great. It's great for athletes, get their name out there and make some money because not all these athletes are not all great players are on scholarship. They need to find some ways to make money so they can, support their family. At least, they don't have to make, millions. They just, for books and all that. So, good for the NCAA. Well, I don't think the NCAA are happy about it, but I think it's obviously time for this to happen.
It's been time. And I think it makes a big difference, plain and simple. You got guys, Hunter Dickinson said he was going to return because of NIL, basically. Kofi Coburn probably doesn't return if they don't have NIL. Chad Baji, I'm almost certain doesn't return if they don't have NIL. Guys like that. The fringe player used to be going pro. Like last year, it was Tyshawn Alexander. He was either going to be the guy on a top 5 Creighton team or, he's a two-way player, I believe, for the Suns right now. So he might get a ring. Shout out to him. But he didn't return last year. If he had NIL, he's the type of guy that returns, makes good money, gets a name for himself, probably improves his draft stock and stuff like that. I think the NIL really helped get some of these guys back to school. And it's just great. It's great to see them profit. It's great to see elite talent return to college basketball. Going to be such a fun season unless Coach Scumbag ruins it.
Well, Coach Scumbag, according to Mike, is only here for one more year. So we're going to just keep getting more talent. And maybe there will be a decrease in the one and dones. So that'll be interesting to see. But we'll see how that pans out.
Yep.
Now, a controversy that has arisen from this, it's not the biggest controversy, but back in 2005, Reggie Bush was the unanimous Heisman Trophy winner for Southern California. And the NCAA later found out that USC had paid him $300,000, in benefits. And $300,000, that's a lot of damn money.
That's a lot of money.
I'll admit, it's a lot of damn money. But now, because the NIL is, it was in play starting July 1st, but now, because it's in play, Reggie Bush wants his Heisman back. And, he's gotten the public along with it. And I personally think that he should get the Heisman back. He didn't do steroids, PEDs. He really didn't have an unfair advantage. He dominated the college football season that season. And, that USC team was one of the best. And they did meet Texas that year and lost. But Reggie Bush really showed people that year that although he got paid, all right, yes, USC didn't follow the rules, but that had nothing to do with the pure talent that Reggie Bush had. He was able to, just juke, get all the touchdowns, get all the yards that he needed to unanimously win the Heisman. So I think Reggie Bush should get his Heisman back. I think, honestly, the NCAA said or Reggie Bush did say that the NCAA was kind of ignoring him and that they don't really want to speak with him. So it's kind of that's a little unfortunate to hear. But Reggie Bush has a case. Now that the NIL is passed, all these athletes should have a case. So that's good. We're gonna end.
I'm gonna interrupt you there real quick. I think it's pretty similar to the whole Pete Rose making the Hall of Fame thing. I think the NCAA and the MLB, like the MLB Hall of Fame, they're kind of pretty similar. And these guys, what they did, Pete Rose bet on himself, which first of all, props to him. I like the confidence, but you know, it's just they just feel really similar. The NCAA is like, yeah, you got benefits. It didn't affect your on-field results, but I don't care. It's just not going to happen. I feel like it's the same as Pete Rose making the Baseball Hall of Fame. I don't really think it's going to happen. People are like, you know what? Let him in. Let the old man in at this point. I feel like it's pretty similar to that.
I would actually disagree with you there because Pete Rose, I'm not entirely sure if he was playing for the Reds or not. And I think there were rumors that he might have been I think he was playing. But, maybe he comes up in a big spot. And, I really have no idea if he did this or not. But, it's like, oh, crap, I have us losing tonight. I'm going to purposely strike out. I already have the most hits in the MLB and MLB history. So I think Pete Rose is a little different, although I do agree with you that he should be in the Hall of Fame. 4,000 damn hits in the MLB is, oh, God, it's really damn impressive. So I do agree with you there. But, betting on your own team, with the possibility of affecting the game, I think that people have an argument on keeping Rose out of the Hall of Fame. I just think, honestly, probably the best hitter to ever do it, with the amount of hits he has. So therefore, he should get into the Hall of Fame.
I mean, look, you're the baseball expert.
That's what I think.
I'll tune to you there. I'll tune to you. You're the expert. We'll take your side. I mean, you're probably if he is betting on the other side, I think that completely changes everything. So yeah, lead with you there.
But maybe we'll do some more research and have a debate on it in the next episode. But speaking of the MLB, the All-Star Game is coming up this week, and I'd just like to say that Max Scherzer did not make the All-Star team, and Yu Darvish did. They're going head-to-head tonight in the starting pitching matchup, and that's playing the Padres. Scherzer has a lower ERA, and he has more strikeouts than Darvish, and that's only two of the stats that Scherzer is better. And the MLB decides to pick Yu Darvish as the All-Star and not Scherzer. Now, Yu Darvish is by far not a bad pitcher at all. He probably deserves to be an All-Star, but you can't leave Max Scherzer off the damn All-Star list. You can't leave him off the team. He's one of the best pitchers in the league, and he'll probably end up making it because Jacob deGrom did announce that he will not be participating in the game. So Scherzer will end up making it, but to not put him on is embarrassing for the MLB, in my opinion. So
that's crazy to me. I mean, look, I don't follow baseball nearly as closely as you, but the only thing that went through my head on why Scherzer wouldn't make it over Darvish is that maybe Scherzer was hurt. Has Scherzer been hurt this year? Like a lot?
No, he was out for a week because of a groin strain.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That you're right. I'm not a Nats fan. I'm not biased. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, it's just, I mean, it's not Manfred, but I'll just clown Manfred. It's just another one of those things that Manfred is stupid at. But we're gonna go to our shout outs real quick. So I attend the University of Florida, yes, and I'm a Caps fan, and all the people, and there are a lot of kids from St. Pete/Tampa area that go to UVet, the University of Florida, and the Lightning won the Stanley Cup last night again, back to back. So I'll say it now. I get it. You guys are good, but you don't have to clown on me for being a Capitals fan, okay? Please leave it off. I know you guys are a good organization. You won back-to-back Stanley Cups, but you can have your time. Just have it, all right? You've had it for 2 damn years now. The Caps will be back. I really hope they will. I expect them to, but they're getting old, so we'll see. But yes, congratulations to the Lightning for defeating the Canadiens in 5 games. But I will give props to the Canadiens. No one thought the Canadiens would make it this far. They beat the Golden Knights, and that was pretty impressive. But the Canada, everyone was saying that the Canada division was the easiest out of the 4 divisions that made the playoffs. So, but Carey Price was excellent in goal despite his loss. Carey Price will, despite not having a Stanley Cup, I do think Carey Price has a good resume for a Hall of Fame. And the Canadians are young, so I think we'll see the Canadians back, in the deeper run of the playoffs in the future. Mike, any shout outs?
Yeah, I got 2. Number 1, Nick Castellanos. I mean, man, he did it again. He did it again the first time. There's a drive into deep left field by Castellanos. I see myself as a man of faith.
Pride myself and think of myself as a man of faith. As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be a home run. And so that'll make it a 4-0 ball game. I don't know if I'm going to be putting on this headset again. I don't know if it's going to be for the Reds. I don't know if it's going to be for my bosses at Fox. I want to apologize for the people who signed my paycheck.
It's great. And this time, they're doing a eulogy on a broadcast to his name was George Gorman. I don't know what his relation was to anyone else, but rest in peace to him, obviously. But there's a drive into deep center field by Castellanos. He hits another dinger during a sad moment. It was great. It's one of the greatest things I've seen in a while. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Well, we're going to tell you about a great man, and it's a loss for the Royals family. This is George Gorman, who passed away at the age of 96. Great life, 96 years. And Pat, just like his dad, went to KU. He also went to Bishop Ward High School. There's a drive into deep left center field, and there's never a great time to eulogize someone during the broadcast, so we apologize for the timing.
Shout out to Castellanos. That was awesome. And number 2, one of my favorite events every single summer at this point is the TBT, and it returns, I believe, the 17th. So yeah, I'm going to shout out the TBT. It's coming back. I think the Syracuse team wins it this year. They're loaded, so I don't anti-shout out to them, but shout out to the TBT.
Is Aaron
Fun
Kraft
tournament.
playing?
Can't wait for it. Can't wait. What do you want to say?
Is Aaron Kraft playing?
Oh, Aaron Kraft retired for the 8th time.
Kraft
He came
playing?
back. He's coming back. Aaron Kraft is leading the Carmen's Crew team. That region is great.
Yes.
That's fun.
I love Aaron Kraft. Aaron Kraft was in 2014 when he was on Ohio. He was the point guard for Ohio State. I just loved watching Aaron Kraft. He wasn't the best player, but he was like he was just like he's just a good point guard. He was just a good college point guard, and now he's back in the TBT because that's where all the old washed up guys who can still play a little bit go to play.
Oh, I mean, there are some guys who could play in the NBA in the TBT. I will say that right now.
Washed up. Not washed up. I apologize.
DJ Kennedy's better than Davis Bertans has ever been. He's better than Davis Bertans has ever been. DJ Kennedy is so much better than him. It's not funny.
All right. Take it. All right.
The Syracuse team this year is a piece of shit.
Watch the TBT because the TBT is nationally televised.
I love it.
So
It's
if you want to see some
I like it more than the NBA. I will say it right there. I like the TBT more than the NBA. It's more physical. They play harder. Come at me. Come at me.
Well, that's not surprising because NBA regular season games are maybe the most boring thing that I've watched in a while. At least the first half. And depending on the outcome of the first half, it could be the most boring game ever. But anyway, thank you all for joining us for another episode of Mike and Beans. And we'll catch you later.
Peace.